Happy Sunday. I am just hopping on today to see if there's anyone out there that may be at home on this Sunday, spending it alone. And if anybody wanted to hop on. So if you're hopping on, if you can say hello to me, let me know where you're hopping on from. And listen, I am outside. I've got a fan blowing in the background. So I decided to wear my earbud in hopes that that would drown out the fan noise. So can somebody tell me, thank you for who's sending those hearts up. Yeah, y'all hit those hearts. It just alerts my algorithm that I've gone live. But there was a little bit of a reason why I was going to hop on today and see if I could get some people to hop on with me. Can you hear me okay? Hey, Lisa from Nebraska. How are you? Um, Thank you for all those hearts. Thank you so much. I am sitting outside, on my back porch, and my husband brought um, a fan around here for me. I am from is it Mississippi? Visiting my sister in it. Well, Judy, you are just in my neck of the woods. From Mississippi. Hey, Libby, y'all say hey to me. Like I told you, I'm not gonna shout you out unless you want to be shouted out and say hey to me. Um, we went to church this morning and had a really good church service and come home, ate a little bit, got out of our church clothes, and I fixed something to eat, which I'm going to fix a bigger supper tonight. Nicholson, Georgia. Okay, hey. Yes, missing. Judy. Okay, from Indiana, Nicholson, Georgia. Okay, okay. I see some of you popping on. I just thought today, I know that I have some followers who um, either live alone, they're um, either shut in or they just don't get out that much. And I thought that I would just come on for a little bit today. And I thought that we could share some memories of our dads because my husband and I, neither one of us have our dads anymore. They're both passed on and they're both in heaven. And so the only thing we can do is to celebrate their memories. And so, hey Sue, hey Sandy. And I thought that and it doesn't matter. Your dad may still be alive and you're not able to be with him today, or if you are, I just thought that we could share some memories today. Um, some times gone past with our dads. I'll tell you, I'll start by just saying one thing that always reminds me of my dad is John Deere tractors. My dad always drove, well, not always, but in his elderly years, he drove a tractor for a tree farm and he would go up and down the rows and he would water the trees. And he just loved being on his, I may be swatting bees and flies out here. Um, Clinton, Iowa. Okay, okay. Hey, Liz. Um, so I just thought if you wanted to drop in the comments and share a memory that you may have with your dad. We would just honor our dads today. You know, I went this morning to honor my Heavenly Father and to worship Him this morning. And hey, Peggy, how are you? So I thought if anybody wanted to, hey, Mama, hey, Janine from Augusta, Georgia. So I really and truthfully, I'm just, it was just such a beautiful day here in Georgia. The sun is shining. Let me see if I can flip y'all around so you can see, because believe me, we've been getting storms and rain, but y'all look how beautiful the sky is. It's very nice. I'll show y'all I can get this thing down. I'll show y'all where my husband put my fan out here for me. He ran a drop cord and everything, put me a fan out here so I could stay cool while I was out here. I fed him and he's in there in his easy chair, taking it easy. Hello, everyone. So I can't hardly see a John Deere tractor without thinking about my daddy. And he passed away in 2011. I mean, I've got a lot of memories that I could share, but I just thought if y'all wanted happy Father's Day to all dads. Yes, yes. Hey, Debbie. What are y'all doing today? Like I said, I'm sitting out on my back porch, my galley porch. I call it my galley porch. I'm just sitting out here enjoying this gorgeous weather and doing absolutely nothing. Came home from church, got out of my church clothes, put some comfortable clothes on, fixed my husband something to eat, and fixing to go to Walnut Grove. Okay. Go to Monroe to my youngest daughter's house for a low country boil. My daughter loves low country boil. So you understand too, Renee. Um, my daughter every year for her birthday, that's what she always does, is has a low country boil for her birthday. That's how she likes to celebrate it. My youngest son, the one y'all that just got married, he sent me a picture through text message of this big old slab of salmon, and he's cooking salmon today and had lemon slices on top of it and all of his spices. And I said, "Oh, you're gonna be eating good for Father's Day, son." Um, and Renee, I know exactly where you are. I was raised in Loganville, and my best friend is from Monroe Social Circle area, so I know right where you're at. You enjoy your time with your daughter. My dad, okay, Regina. My dad has been gone for 15 years, but he was a jokester and he loved big. I miss him on this day and all. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you can't help. You think about them, different things trigger your mind and you think about them at different times, but especially, on Father's Day when you're celebrating that holiday. My dad was um let's see, how would you put it, in his early 30s. I can't really remember if he was 31 or 33, but my dad was a big, strong, strapping man. Okay. He was about 6'2", 6'3", over 200 pounds, just a big, strong um, workhorse of a man. And when he was in his early 30s, his body was stricken with rheumatoid arthritis. And when I say it took a strong man down, it put my daddy flat on his back. It just throughout his whole body. It attacked his whole body. and he became totally disabled in his early 30s. And I'll tell you a little story that I have about my dad as I can remember. And listen, saying that, my dad wasn't ever one for like self pity or anything like that. I seen him work harder and do more totally disabled. And eventually, it crippled his hands. And we always would tease him and say he was the bionic man because he had two artificial shoulders, two artificial knees, and two artificial knees and two artificial hips. Had a lot of surgery, had his couple of his fingers fused, his toes fused, and everything. So he just really struggled most of his adult life with rheumatoid arthritis. But I'll share a story with you, and I can remember growing up as a young girl. Um, we would heat towels, wet towels, wet them, squeeze them out, heat towels by the fireplace, lay them up on the screen that went over the fireplace, and we would get those towels heated good by the fireplace so they could be wrapped around my dad's arms and his knees and his elbows and stuff as a kind of like a heating pad, a heat compress, just to relax his joints enough so he could even just get out of the bed. And then he would loosen up and eventually be able to get up. But there were days that it was very difficult for him, um, because he battled such a severe case of rheumatoid arthritis. But you know what? He was still a good dad. He was present. He was always there. I never wondered about, where he was. He was faithful. God saved my daddy when I was about 5 years old. And up until his death, all I remember is him being faithful to the house of God. Listen, I seen him when he couldn't even put his own shoes on, have to have help getting dressed, buttoning his pants, putting on a tie, lacing up his shoes, whatever. He was still faithful. He was going to make it. And that's why I say, mercy, how we can use, so many excuses not to go to God's house. But that just wasn't my daddy. He looked forward to it. He longed for it because I think that's just what brought him the most peace. That was kind of like his haven of rest and his escape from the pain, and to get in a good church service, a good meeting, a good time of worshiping his Lord. That he just longed, whatever it took for him to get there, he was going to make it to God's house. So we had it for my oldest daughter that turns 40 on 5/28. We had the same thing. Renee, my daughter, just turned 33. Always get it right. I think it was 33 on May the 28th. That's her birthday too. And she loves Low Country Boy. Um, but that's just a little bit of some background. I'm sorry, goodness, I got to talking and I missed a lot of. I would definitely go back and read these. Hey, Patsy from Panama City. My dad was a cattle and a chicken farmer, and then got into law enforcement and was eventually sheriff of Franklin County, Georgia. Okay, for 2 terms. That was so neat, Martha. Yeah, it's hard not to miss him on days like today. Um, my dad, before becoming totally disabled by trade, he was a carpenter. He built houses, and but then he was also like he loved to do paint and body work. I seen him, not necessarily body work, but paint. He would paint cars. He loved racing cars, like dirt track, and he liked watching the NASCAR and stuff. As a matter of fact, on his um the wreath at his funeral that all of us kids went in together and got him, we did the black and white checkered flag that they flag, when you're coming across the finish line. And we put on there, no, I'm sorry. not us kids, the grandkids, um, did the black and white checkered banner, and it said, uh, Papa finished his race, finished his race, and they did the little checkered flag. But he had some friends, some precious friends that owned a tree farm, and they knew it was very therapeutic for my dad that he couldn't do a lot, but he had this John Deere tractor, and he was able to get up in it, climb up in it, had an air condition. He'd get up in there and close the door, and he would ride up and down those. And it still made him feel like, because you can imagine being just a strong man like my dad was, and just to have that strength fell out. Sorry about that, guys. My earbud fell out. I've got it in because I felt like the fan would be too loud. Um, hey to all of you. Your daughter Doris will be 33 in September. Okay. Okay. Um, thank you, Patsy. Thank you. That's so sweet. Doris, you lost your dad in 2000. Okay. My father-in-law was February. Um, but I just know that it was very therapeutic for my dad to go get in his tractor and get out there on that tree farm. Hey, Amber from Kansas. Y'all be sure to tell me where you're hopping on from. I'm just, yes, yes, Martha, for sure he was. But it was, oh, hey, Sharon. Good afternoon, Gigi. You look so beautiful. I'm buying my 89-year-old daddy early supper. Oh, it don't let me. Okay, before we have night service, we're not having a night service tonight. I think the pastor just lets, the members have the day to spend with their fathers and their children and all that stuff. You have osteoarthritis. Okay. Yeah, arthritis is so bad. Ooh. And my daddy had just an absolute severe case. I mean, it was it was very crippling. And it definitely limited him to what he could do, in his years. Like I said, he still would get around and do, and he didn't let it keep him down, but there were a lot of days that kept him bound, especially to be so young. But that's how Clarksville, Tennessee. Gail, I lost my daddy 32 years ago from heart disease. My husband right at 22 years ago, and my father-in-law this last Wednesday, the 11th, a very brief illness. Oh my goodness, a hard month for me and my family. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, goodness. I'm so sorry for your losses, especially the most recent one too. Mm, Glenda, I know a little bit about what your dad went through. I have arthritis in my back, knees, and degenerative disc, and sometimes I'm not able to go to church because of the pain, and I try to rest on Saturdays. God knows that too. You're from Georgia. And I always say, God knows. Oh, thank you, Dora. That was a lot of fun. Those lives are, when you decide to do that in the spur of the moment, it's like you don't ever know what you're gonna go on there looking like. And I said both of the lives that I've done with other content creators, with Nan and then with Tabby, I said, Lord, have mercy, I look like who shot Willie. Um, but that's okay, My daddy is in heaven since 2010 and miss and think of him daily. He was a career Marine and loved his family. Okay, Amber. So my dad was 2011. I sure do appreciate the sacrifices your daddy made as a Marine too. Sure do. For this great country. So I just wanted to take a little time today. Oh, Susan, they haven't seen them yet. They're coming Thursday. Oh, thank you, Doris. That's sweet. They're coming Thursday. They'll love them. They will love them. Because a lot of times when I take them out and let them pick out something, Willow and Piper went to the doctor's office with me one day when I had a doctor's appointment. They were here and they were so good. And I said, "Oh, I'm going to treat them to something." I took them and let them pick out something, and they'll always pick out, little nails or all the fake makeup or hair accessories, notebooks to write in, and little colorful stuff. So I know they're going to love those hair pieces, but they will be here Thursday. So I'm looking forward to their visit. I've seen I've got a lot of Georgia people on here. So really and truthfully, I just thought I'd hang out with y'all for a little bit. And I thought, well, maybe there's some of my sweet followers that are at home today and they're alone and they're missing their dad, and um, they might want to share some memories with me or listen to me share some memories with my dad. But I will say my dad definitely, um, suffered a lot with his arthritis and went through a lot. But I think the one thing that sticks out to me the most is, I think now that I'm approaching my 60s, I'm going to be 59 this year. Um, and I think about days that I might have a little bit of pain here or a little bit of stiffness or soreness or whatever. And I think, oh, but then I think for your whole body to be, reeked with pain on a daily, never to get away from that, how that could just wear on you mentally. But one thing that truly sticks out with me about my dad is, um, thank you, Dora. I see somebody sending some hearts. Thank y'all. I forget to mention that sometimes. I try to do that at the beginning, but yeah, I forget that that's how it wakes up your algorithm and puts you out there, is to hit those hearts and stuff. But one thing that really, really sticks in my mind the most about my dad, now that I'm a little bit older and more mature, and I'm sure that there's a lot of things I appreciate now, sacrifices that he made now that I didn't necessarily in my younger years, is just his faithfulness, to God, and how he never ever used his illness or his health as an excuse not to be faithful to the house of God. I was raised in the church my whole entire life, and I never ever ever did I have to ask my dad, "Were we going to church?" Um, it was a given. It was it was never, "Oh, I wonder if Daddy's arthritis is going to be acting up this morning, and we're going to get to go to church." No, that was never a question in my home. We went Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, special singings, revival meetings, did not matter. We were going to be at church. And that's kind of how I was with my children, I just, my daddy made that important to me. I'm not saying everything about my dad was perfect and that he done everything right. I'm not saying that. I'm definitely not saying that everything I did with my kids was perfect and right, because I made plenty of mistakes. But I think that my dad exhibited such a and took a stand about going to the house of God, and he made that of the utmost importance, top priority. And I can say that my siblings that are serving in church today, that's a big reason of why my children, all of my children were in church this morning. All of my grandchildren were in church this morning. And you got to make the main things the main things. It has to be a priority because life isn't going to be perfect and you are going to make mistakes, but that's going to be your shelter. That's going to be your place to go to, your haven of rest when times get tough and when times get hard and you don't know which end is up and you don't know which way to go. There's just something about going to church and sitting up under the singing and the preaching, and it ministers to your soul and to your spirit, and it just helps you get through. Oh, you're welcome, Patricia. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It's different, you never know what you're going to get. It's always different, um, but the choir singing was good. The message was wonderful. And I just think that church is that weekly booster shot that you need to get through the week. So I know that a lot of you are, some of my followers are elderly and shut in, and you can't get out and go like you used to could or like you want to be able to go. Um, hey, Audrey from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yes, Doris. Absolutely. Never a question. Never a question. And I'll tell you the difference that my dad made of being my dad was saved, and um, he was saved and passed away, and his funeral services were held at the same exact church that he got saved in. So he served in that church for over 40 years from the time he got saved. Like I said, he's been passed on since 2011, but he passed away in the same church that he was saved, baptized, and joined the church he raised us in. But when I can tell you this, um, his faithfulness to that church and the lives that he touched at that church was evident when he passed away, when there was literally standing room only. The choir loft was full because the choir sang. My daddy wanted the choir to sing at his funeral. And literally there were people standing in the foyer. There were no empty seats. And that was just a testament of the impact that he made on so many people. So I'm glad that you have that, um, Amber, that you can watch from church, because that definitely is a blessing. I mean, I always say social media can be it can be a bad thing, but it can also be used for so much positivity. It can be used as a tool for God, just like a lot of people use it as a tool for Satan. But I say use it for God, because greater is He that is in me than he that's in this world. So I always try to use it for something positive. Thank you all for hopping on and just spending a little bit of your Sunday afternoon with me. And I didn't really plan it, it was kind of just impromptu, which a lot of my lives are, except for my Fruitful Fridays. And I told my husband, I said, well, it's kind of warm, but it's a gorgeous day out there. And do you think that you could, because I told y'all he's going to eventually get around to putting me some little ceiling fans out here. But he come and sprayed around the porch just to kind of, I can say it's really helped too, because when I was out here the other day, I was fighting the flies and swatting the bees and stuff. And I think I may have seen one. So him spraying around here really helped. And he brought me a fan from down out of his garage, and just ran a drop cord and maneuvered it and put me I mean, it was blowing. That fan is strong. It was blowing. It blows so strong that I had to literally turn it away from me. Y'all not having services either, Doris. Um, but I had to turn it off of me because it looked like oof. blowing my hair straight back. You can still see it blowing a little bit. Um, oh, happy anniversary, Doris. How sweet. Well, thank y'all just for hanging out with me a little bit. And I just thought when I decided to do this, I said, well, I'm going to be getting in the kitchen here in a minute and I'm going to be cooking. And I'm doing a chicken and rice casserole, some green beans, some um, mac and cheese, some coleslaw, might do some deviled eggs, stuffed eggs. I don't know about that yet because we already had those once this week, but I'm going to bake my husband either his favorite orange um, pound cake or I'm going to do a peach cobbler. Hadn't decided, but I'm going to be getting in there here in just a little while, cooking that for supper tonight. Um, but I'm going to share something funny with y'all. It just don't have anything to do with fathers. We're doing steak and baked potato. That sounds good. We did that one day week before last. We cooked some steak and baked potato and a salad. It was good too. I'll share something funny with y'all. Y'all know if you've been following me in the last little bit. Hey, if you're my new followers, this is your first time catching me live. Welcome to my page. Uh, this is just an impromptu live that I decided to do today. You're welcome, Glenda. You're welcome. I feel like somebody might could use a little bit of company today, when on days like this when we're, missing our dads or can't get out and go like we want to. It would just be a nice little relaxing refreshment. But I want to share something funny with y'all. Um, if y'all have been following me for the last little bit, you know that my youngest son, Brandon, just got married last month. And well, he'd been waiting on his some of the wedding pictures. They got a sneak peek little um package, where the photographer got some of their pictures to him pretty quick. But all of the pictures of the whole entire event and the day and everything, of course, that takes a little bit of time when you have professional pictures done. But the day that they got all of their wedding pictures, they sent me the link so that I could go view all the wedding pictures. Well, I got up that morning, and y'all know that I cooked a big meal last week. Roast. I put the carrots, potatoes, and onions in the crock pot. And in that video, I don't know if you caught it or not, but I said I'm also cooking some pinto beans, and I've got my pinto beans on the stove. I've let them soak, and I've got them on my stove, and I've got my seasoning, and I've got my ham hock. I had my ham hock in my pinto beans. Well, I love pinto beans with coleslaw. But the reason for this story is in my video, you heard me say I'm cooking up some coleslaw and pinto pinto beans and what have you to go along with that meal. But at the end of it, when I was doing the taste test and I showed y'all that plate of food, it had green beans on it. Well, I'm going to share with you what happened to my pinto beans. Is my son sent me, or my daughter-in-law, my son, one of the two, sent me the link to the wedding pictures. And I got so involved in looking at those hundreds of wedding pictures. And I just couldn't quit looking at them. I'd cry and I'd laugh. And I just got so wrapped up in listening to looking at those wedding pictures. And then I said, oh no. I let my pinto beans, I let every bit of the water cook out of my pinto beans and them, scorched them. Let's just say I scorched my pinto beans. And if you know anything about scorching beans, it stinks up your whole house. It stunk. I had to light candles, and my beans were ruined. And I love pinto beans with coleslaw, but that's what I did. That's real life in the kitchen. I thought, oh, that's something to share with my followers that follow my cooking page. I scorched my pinto beans. I scorched them. So there's some real life for you. Have y'all ever done that? Doris, as soon as that come out of my mouth, I seen your comment. I've done that. Hey everyone that's just hopping on. Um, we've just been sharing some memories of our dads. And like I said, my dad and my husband's dad are both passed away. Um, they passed away in the same year, both of them in 2011. Hello from Southwest Louisiana. I was so blessed with a godly dad and also a godly husband that I recently lost in death. But now he and my dad have met each other for the first time in heaven with the Heavenly Father. My heart hurts and misses them both badly. My husband was a special dad to our children, and they miss him dearly. So do I, forever in our hearts until we meet again. Yes, Linda. And that's a precious memory and tribute to both. Yeah, I mean, I know that, we all have um, memories that maybe aren't great memories. But you know what? I choose, especially on today, I choose to remember the good things um, about my dad. And I'm just ever so grateful um, that my daddy raised me in church and that he taught me how important that was. You've done that. I lost my dad 15 years ago. One day I will see. I proceeded again. Yes, yes, there. And you know what? That's our hope. I mean, if we were without that hope, we would be all men most miserable. If there was not that hope of being reunited and just that promise of an eternal home in heaven forever with our Heavenly Father and our loved ones, for sure. Um, because I think sometimes, far too often, we aren't careful. We'll dwell on the sad and the not so happy times. And so today I just wanted us to remember, try to search your heart and just find the good memories. Because you know what? Even if you didn't have the best daddy in the world, and even if you didn't have the best life in the world, um, for whatever the reason, I always say we can still, if we look deep enough, we can still find some good in everybody. There's still some ounce of goodness. And so, that's that sometimes is what we have to try to remember, are the happy times, the special times. So anyhow, I'm not going to keep you all this Sunday afternoon. Like I said, I got to get in the kitchen. Thank you for whoever was sending those hearts up the whole time and those thumbs up. I appreciate it. If you're new to my page, I'm so grateful. I think what I need is a Sunday afternoon nap. I'm sitting out here with this fan blowing on me and this beautiful weather. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I might could take me a Sunday afternoon nap. But like I said, I'm gonna get in the kitchen here in a minute and start cooking. And and I just thought I'd come on here for a few minutes and hang out with you, share a little bit of this Sunday afternoon, and just hope to encourage you to think on think on these things. You know what? We did our Fruitful Friday. Think on these things, which are just and pure and lovely and are of a good report. Just want to think on some good thoughts today and some good memories um, of our fathers that have passed on. You have a good afternoon, Gwen. Hey, my name is Gwen. I'm a Gwen too. I love your name, Gwen. Are you Gwendolyn or just Gwen? Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, we had a good morning service and um, just had some good conversation today. It's about to rain here in Central Texas. Dora has done nothing but rain and storm here for the past several days. I don't know if it's supposed to rain or storm today or not, but I don't know. It's been like an everyday occurrence, pop-up storms and thunderstorms and showers and knock people's power out and it'll come back on and I'm Gwendolyn too. And you know what? Uh my mom and dad for whatever reason, I think the story that I've been told is they just kind of disagreed with what my middle name was going to be, so I didn't get one. But I said, hey, Gwendolyn is long enough. That's a long name for a little girl to have to learn to write, you know? So when God was ready for him, he was ready. Little did I know that was his last day on earth because he had a great week and was on active lung transplant list. He received his new lungs without going through a major surgery. Linda, that is the most positive. Let me tell you, it's only been 3 weeks that I lost my husband, but I know where he is in heaven. I'm so glad that you have that comfort. And that is a positive way. Because, I've said the same thing about my dad. I said, you know what, my dad, no more crippled up hands, no crippled up legs, no crippled up knees. He got a brand new set of legs and he's running those streets of gold and worshiping around the throne. And so, you know, he was a winner either way, but to get a brand new glorified body, absolutely. We're having some beautiful weather up here, northeast Georgia. I'm from Livonia, Georgia. Okay. Okay. Well, you know what, Gwen? Your name is Gwen and you live in Livonia, and my mother's name is Livonia. Now, what's the chances of that? My, that's too funny. Okay, Kim, well then, we understand one another. And I just later on in life just used my maiden name for my middle name. I mean, legally, it's on my legal documents. I just use my maiden name. You don't meet too many people that don't have a middle name. Well, listen, I keep saying I'm gonna go, but y'all know I love talking to you and love hanging out with you, but I do need to go. Or I guess I do need to go. Oh, but I wasn't gonna be doing anything but sitting out here. I told my husband, I said, do you care if I go out there and sit on the back porch and just relax? And I said, I think I'm gonna do a live and just share some memories of my dad since today is Father's Day and talk about him a little bit. Oh, Linda Garner, I'm fairly new to your page. Oh, I'm so glad that you found it too. Linda, you never know what you're going to get from me, okay? It might be a back porch. Look, I got my little sign out here. Back porch sitting. We may sit out on the back porch and just chit chat. On Fridays, I do a devotion, usually Mondays. my husband, Monday is my husband's off day, and we usually run our errands. I pay bills. We go to the grocery store. We do grocery shopping, the post office, um, any to the bank, any errands that we need to do. So sometimes on Mondays, it may be something that I cooked over the weekend, or it may just be us going out to eat and I share my food with you, like I did yesterday at Texas Roadhouse. And y'all, those rolls were so good. I ate two of those rolls and I was so full that I could not eat my salad. I ate maybe a fourth of it, brought it home with me, and that was my supper last night because I filled up on those rolls and I ate two of them. Oh, they were so good. My maiden name was Whitworth, so Gwendolyn Whitworth was a long name. I didn't need them. Ain't that the truth? Yes, yes. And I just because I'm on a public forum, I don't as easily, throw out my maiden or my middle name, but um, just for makes me feel better anyhow. But I live on the Georgia South Carolina line. So, are you towards Augusta, Georgia South Carolina line? Are you? Are you? Is that's south? No, you said you were. I forget what you said. That would be south. That's southeast of Atlanta. Um, I'm thinking somewhere around the Augusta, South Carolina line. But I have a very long maiden name too, Gwen. So I love your hair. It's beautiful. Just started watching you. Oh, thank you. Uh, it's just I don't do anything to it. I go a couple of times a year and get it trimmed, or if my daughter comes, I let her trim it up for me, and I get a haircut a couple of times a year, and that's about it. Thank you for saying that. I just decided about I think it's been about 4 years now. About 4 years ago, I just decided to go all natural with my hair because I had always highlighted it blonde and I was so tired of the upkeep, but I went through back in the early 90s, I went through beauty college. And then my daughter is a licensed hairdresser. And so I told my husband, I want one of those I can put around my ear because this one falls out all the time. Um, you go down Interstate 85, Lida. Oh, Lake Hartwell. Oh, okay. 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 Yeah, I think my husband's fishing tournaments maybe there. He doesn't do fishing tournaments anymore, but he did years and years ago. Um, we are 2 hours from Augusta. Oh, north from Augusta. Okay, you're south. Okay. Um, what was I saying? Oh, my hair. My daughter would do my hair anytime I wanted her to, and did an excellent job. Maybe I'll share. You know what I'll do? I'll share a picture with y'all of the very last time that she highlighted my hair, and I decided I'm tired of this upkeep. Not that I didn't like it highlighted, I did, but I said I'm going to go natural. I'm tired of the upkeep. I will do a side by side picture of 4 years ago when she highlighted my hair for the very last time. And a current, I'll do a current side by side so you can see my hair. But don't y'all come at me and say, "Oh, you need to color your hair again," because I don't want to. I love the natural and not having to fool with any of that. So, hey, Karen, yeah, y'all, if you were just hopping on, I'm sorry that I'm getting ready to close this out. I've been here for a minute. Just listen, just back porch chit chatting, Sunday afternoon chit chatting. That's all I'm doing. That's all I come out here to do. Reminisce a little bit about my daddy and talk about him and just conjure up some memories about him. Um, but I'm going to go because I've got to get in the house. It's a quarter here in Georgia. It's almost a quarter till 3. And thank you all for being here. To all my new followers, I cannot express my gratitude enough for you. However you found my page, whoever recommended it, however you found your way over here through Nan or Tabby or however, Reels or whatever, I'm so grateful that you're here. I appreciate you coming and giving my page a try. I know it's not for everybody, and I said from the get go, I'm okay with that. I know my page will not be for everybody, but I'm thankful that you came over and are following me. And if you don't mind, if you would invite your friends and share my page, that's just how it grows. That's just the truth of it. Um, you got to get your content out there for people to see it and to know that you're here. So if you don't mind sharing my page, sharing the link to my page or inviting your friends, I would be ever so grateful. But thank you for being here with me today. I hope that you'll come back. Happy Father's Day for you, everyone in your family. Thank you. I sent all of my boys uh, a message this morning, and they were all in church and their families. And um, I sent them a message and I told them how proud I was of them and so thankful for the wonderful dads that they are, having their children in church, and um, just for the men that they are becoming. So, um, and like I said, some of my kids will be coming in this week. So uh, I'm grateful that you're all here and that you joined me today. Before I go, let me just do as I close out every video and encourage you to be the hands and the feet of Jesus and be his mouthpiece. Share some love and kindness with somebody today. If you know somebody's alone or they're missing their father today, just give them a call, send them a text or a little thinking of you or whatever. Just um, be a blessing to somebody. Be the hands and feet of Jesus and his mouthpiece. And I'll see you back again real soon in my kitchen, and we'll be cooking up a good recipe together. Okay. All right. Happy Sunday. Love you guys. See you soon.